Love, Death, Robots is a Netflix anthology series similar to Black Mirror, exploring many otherworldly and futuristic concepts. Not all episodes possess the same thematic depth, and most are not positive in tone, but there is one that firmly stood out to me. It is a story of adapting to, understanding, and living in a modernized world. Good hunting.
When I was a child, the whole world was full of magic.
Good Hunting takes place in rural China shortly before the Industrial Revolution. The protagonist is Liang, a young boy, son to a spirit hunter who defends humans from evil spirits and is tasked with killing a Hulijing, a fox spirit that is known for turning into a beautiful woman and bewitching men. Liang follows along for the quest, and as the planned ambush fails, a chase ensues as the Hulijing tries to escape the hunters and they track her to the abandoned temple that she has made her den. Liang's father orders him to go around the back of the temple where he ends up encountering the Hulijing's daughter, Yan.
Why are you hunting us? We did nothing to you.
Your mother bewitched the merchant's son. We were hired to save him.
Bewitched? He's the one who wouldn't leave her alone.
That's not true.
Once a man has set his heart on a Hulijing, she can hear him no matter how far apart they are. All that moaning and crying. She has to go to him every night just to keep him quiet.
No, she lures men and feeds on them for her evil magic.
A man can fall in love with a Hulijing just like he can with a human woman.
It's not the same.
Not the same? I saw how you looked at me.
Yan! Do not speak to that human. You know how dangerous they are.
Liang's father beheads Yan's mother and asks Liang if there are any signs of pups, to which he responds that there aren't. 5 years go by, within which Liang's father passed away, and we find ourselves in a modernizing world where trains run past Liang's village. In the time that has elapsed, Liang and Yan have become friends. We're told by Yan that as technology rises, magic drains from the world and she is slowly losing her ability to turn into her fox form, more and more relying on Liang for food as she becomes unable to hunt herself. Liang decides to leave the village and the characters part ways. He ends up finding work in Hong Kong where he becomes a mechanic working on the train line, and another 5 years pass in which he grows experienced in his work. One night as he leaves work, a few nearby British men harass a Chinese woman, trying to coax her into sexual acts. The woman turns out to be Yan, and Liang steps up to the men, who then leave. As Liang and Yan reunite, they discuss their new lives. While Liang has been working as an engineer and become good at it, Yan has lost all her magic, now only relying on her beauty to get by. The world of Good Hunting continues to progress, and technology becomes ever more sophisticated. Liang follows this progression, finding the constant change of technology exciting, studying it and moving from engineering to building automata, mechanical devices that mimic humans or animals.
I found I understood automata even better than I understood trains. These machines were otherworldly and alive. They felt akin to magic.
One night, Yan visits him, revealing to him her body which has almost entirely been mechanized. She had been frequenting the governor who seemed a gentleman at first, but ended up dragging her to put her under the knife and have her turned into a machine, as she could only be aroused by machines. Liang offers to help reverse the process, but Yan only wants revenge.
I told her I would do it. The old magic may have been gone from the world, but I could make a new magic from their machines.
Liang then modifies Yan's body, allowing her to mechanically turn into a fox.
Good hunting, Yan.
What we are supposed to take away from this is that there are two ways one can act when confronted with this change in the world, the disappearance of magic. While actual magic never existed in our world, there was a figurative one for the longest time. During most of history, the world was explained through gods and spirits, and it were these systems of belief, along with the traditions that accompanied them, that gave people meaning and security by prescribing them a way of life that was to be followed and did not require critical thought or personal judgment, making purpose in life easy to come by. This, however, changed with the Enlightenment period, where the world and everything within it was to be understood through the means of science, that is, rational thought, instead of appeal to the supernatural. As this mindset began to unlock the secrets of the sciences, technology advanced rapidly and so were laid the rails and built the trains that we see in Good Hunting. Just as in Good Hunting, rails and trains killed magic, so too the Enlightenment thought killed supernaturalism. The more was explained through science, the more religion lost its ground and credibility, and just as magic faded because of technological advancement, so religion and the meaning derived from it faded because of the Enlightenment values discrediting it. While much time has passed since then, the problem still persists. Many people feel lost in a world that seems to be always changing and advancing, as they have no tools to orient themselves in it and simply long for a simpler time, where magic still existed. Few realize that there indeed are two paths that can be taken here, not just one. One can decry the fading of magic and resign into a perpetual state of anxiety, and doing so can be tempting, as it is the path of least resistance. What made the canned meaning in the form of religion and tradition so appealing was that it did not require personal thought. One simply did whatever the priest, shaman, elder, or king said one should do, and that was that. The second path, the one Liang took, using the Enlightenment ideas to one's own advantage, is the harder path. Liang enjoys the changing world and revels in understanding the factors that drive it, studying them and harnessing them to his own and later Yan's advantage. This is the harder path because paying attention to the world and correctly analyzing it requires mental effort and may at first not always be successful. It is a process of trial and error. Facing reality also requires one to confront facts that may not align with one's personal feelings, and it is in this that the most important human decision lies, focusing on reality despite one's feelings about it. Although, of course, in the end, being in accord with reality always feels better in the long term. While this is the most strenuous path, it is also the most rewarding. It is exactly through this, using Enlightenment ideas of reason and objectivity unclouded by supernaturalism, that Liang discovers something, as he himself describes it, akin to the magic of old. The same way I have compared magic to the meaning derived from religion, this new, mechanical magic is a new kind of meaning. More precisely, it is the meaning derived from living as a rational human. It is through understanding the world and its laws and using them to our advantage that we humans can carve out our place in it. Instead of feeling lost in an ever-changing world, we have to focus and direct our minds to peel back the layers and look at the internal workings underneath it all, the basic laws that govern everything above them. It is when we do this that we find things to be consistent, logical, and comprehensible, rather than random, intangible, and firmly out of our control. The act of focusing on reality and through that gaining understanding of it is not just valuable in the realm of philosophy, it is also a habit one can apply to aspects of everyday life. Probing questions such as, what is this thing's nature? And, given its nature, how can I use it to my advantage? Or also, given its nature, how can this thing harm me? Are excellent for analyzing concrete aspects of your life and optimizing them. Consider, for instance, technology. Many of us who are born into a world brimming with technology like to consider ourselves fairly tech-savvy, but consider how you and people around you use technology. Is it in a way which is most conducive to your life and goals, or is it in a way everyone else around you does it and which you are simply copying? Are smartphones used to plan, structure, and enhance lives and social interaction, or have they become substitutes or even disruptors of all those things? Do you feel an impulse to check your phone every morning as soon as you wake up, even though there is no reason for it? Do you use your computer and the internet to work on meaningful projects or learn important, useful things? Or is it a tool for throwing time away? Furthermore, there are many technological avenues we are lucky to have open to us, which almost no one actively considers exploiting in their pursuit of happiness. You can buy a Raspberry Pi or Arduino for relatively small money and create all kinds of intriguing projects with it, from automating your everyday life to more curious and specific appliances. Similarly, learning things such as programming or image manipulation, which can be used to earn decent money, are easier and cheaper to learn than ever, and all the other near infinite things the internet as a whole opens up in terms of self-improvement and financial opportunity, I have no time to cover. Technology opens up a near infinite amount of opportunities, yet many are quick to take all the marvelous machinery around them for granted, not looking at its workings more closely, which will lead them to recognize that we live in an unprecedented time where plenty of fruit is ripe for the picking to those willing to learn to build a ladder and reach it. Instead, technology is just seen as another intangible, random factor in the cacophony of impressions on the unfocused mind, and its potential lies untapped. While some may throw their hands in exasperation at an ever-changing, seemingly unknowable world, it is up to us individuals, willing to use the means of reason to understand the world and the vast array of technological tools within it, and through that seek our fortunes in this world, living lives with a magic of their very own in the process. Good hunting.